But yeah, now there are 2 Drake Bell movies where he is Timmy Turner. I still think the premise of the first one is funny because he's 23 years old and he's still in 5th grade.
How do you make a sequel to that, though?
I think this one's called Grow Up Timmy Turner, and it's about him actually growing up.
And losing the fairy godparents?
Probably.
That's fucked up. That's dark. That's the one thing that I hated about.
It only got like 3 million viewers.
Is that bad?
Yeah, apparently. The first one almost got 6 million viewers. But then again, that was also 3 years ago, so I assume a lot of the crowd grew up even more.
That was the thing that I never wanted with the Fairly Odd Parents, was that, like, they always teased it so much that he was going to have to grow up eventually.
Yeah.
I didn't want that to happen, because that was also my childhood. I mean, even though I was like 14 years old when that show came out.
Same. The worst misstep I think that show had, though, was the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. Because I fucking hate Jimmy Neutron.
I forgot they did that. Didn't they do that like 3 times?
They did do it like 3 times. Maybe it was only twice.
I hated Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah. Jimmy Neutron as the movie was okay when I first saw it, and I didn't have much, entertainment resources back when
the
I lived
movie
in Germany.
come before the show?
It did. And then they noted the success of the movie, so they made a show. And the show was awful, and I hated every single character.
While we were talking about it, what happened in the Recess movie? I can't remember.
Some guy wanted to freeze the world. He wanted to freeze America.
I remember I saw the movie in theaters, and I don't remember it.
I saw it in theaters too, I think. I might have seen it in school.
I saw Max Keeble's Big Move.
That's a weird one to see. I've never seen that.
I saw that in theaters. I fucking hated it. Hated the ending. Because they didn't move. That was just it was all a dream thing.
What? Really?
Yeah, at the end they didn't even fucking move. They're like, oh, we found out we don't have to move.
Oh, I fucking hate that cop-out.
But he had just spent the whole day being a real dickhead at school. So I thought that they should make him have to face the repercussions of all his actions, but I'm pretty sure they didn't. So it was a kid's movie. That movie single-handedly taught an entire generation to be a shithead, and nothing will happen to you.
I guess now the show has to start. It's making weird,
Okay, let's do this. Let's get into it. It's time for the tentatively titled Stinky Boy Show with me, Fred Shark, and my co-host,
Jafe Man.
Jeff, man, you gotta come up in here real quick. You're a little far.
Oh, Jafe Man.
There you go.
JAEFMAN.
Yep, that's it. That's the one. Follow him on that. He does not have a lot of followers, but he deserves them. So, anyways, yeah, I'm Fred Shark or Nathan. You might know me well from not having a dick. And what episode is this? 4.
This is 4.
It's episode 4 of the show. So we're just gonna do the hell out of it.
I'd like to begin with my bike story.
Oh yeah, your bike story. Let's go for it.
Well, let's first, before we go into it, did you have what kind of bike did you have as a kid?
It was weird. I had a big wheel for a while when I was like really little.
Oh
like
man,
4.
I also had a big wheel.
Yeah, I loved that thing. Like 4 or 5. And then I had one bike with training wheels, and we took the training wheels off, and like immediately I was like, fuck this, I needed to move up. And so my sister, who's 4 years older than me, had like a mountain bike, and I wanted to ride that. But the thing is, the mountain bike was taller than me. So what I'd have to do is, we had like a front porch at our house that like, it didn't have railings or anything. It was like a little patio basically.
Did you have to sidle onto it?
Well, what I had to do is I had to hold the bike, walk up onto the porch, and then get on it and like push myself off of the porch and just hope that momentum never died. And I couldn't stop the bike. I'd have to crash. Like I'd have to jump off the bike because I was too short for it. But then after that, yeah, I had a mountain bike that got stolen.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it was fucked up because it was like the kids down the street, and I saw it in their yard. Literally, the most stereotypical thing. I saw it spray painted black, like sitting up against their house. I saw it, and I was like, "That's my fucking bike." And I was like, that is so my bike," and I couldn't believe it got stolen, but I never did anything about it. So, anyways, what is your bike story?
Well, growing up, I also had a big wheel. I had a tricycle. I had a little red tricycle. Not even making that up. Then I had a big wheel, which was the best thing ever because you could go so fast.
Big wheels are sick, and then like if you were cool enough, you make the front wheel spin out.
That was my favorite thing to do.
I love doing that.
Then I had my first bicycle, which had a picture of a shark on it. It was either called like Shark Bite or Shark Attack. It was some stupid thing. It had a cushion on the handlebars. I don't know why, but it did, with a picture of a shark on it.
Oh. Wait, so like between the handlebars?
Yeah, between the handlebars it had a cushion.
So you could take a power nap.
Yeah.
On your way in between girls that you were fucking
I was
at 6 years old or 5 or whatever.
I remember you could take off the cushion. I think it was there for safety in case you ever fucked up and
got in a head-on collision at a whopping 2 miles per hour and broke your neck.
The brakes on it were pretty weird because you had to pedal backwards in order to brake.
Mm-hmm.
So keeping that in mind, I got used to that. I used that bike for around 6 years. When I lived in Andrews Air Force Base, I would ride it around our cul-de-sac a lot, and I would go so fast. That's as apt as I can get with that. I would go so fast.
Hell yeah. That's the life.
But my dad got me a new bike because he said that I was getting too big for my old bike, which I understood because I was, at that point, 10 years old, riding, a bike that I had since I was 6.
Right.
So naturally I grew a foot.
As one would do.
So when we moved to Germany, he didn't take my old bike with us. I don't know what he did with it. He either sold it or he trashed it. It doesn't matter. I don't care. And he got me this red mountain bike thing with the gears and stuff on it.
Right, the chain driven and all that.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool. He said that the higher the gear was, the harder it would be to bike, but the faster I could go on it.
That's all you need to tell a kid, is that you can go really fast in a thing.
And he also told me not to press the front handbrake too hard.
Yep.
Because if I did that, there's a chance that it would come to a perfect stop mid full stride, and I would flip forward and break my ass on something.
I never understood why that brake existed anyway. Like, for a real, like, I guess if you were actually biking in the mountains, maybe that would be important. But it's like, it's just, why would you want that option? And why would you give me the temptation to squeeze both of them and fly off my bike?
I still use the front brake because it was actually pretty good. And I figured that you'd have to go as fast as like a car in order to have that perfect stop. Also, you'd have to have like greater forearm strength than that of a 10-year-old child to activate that flying off the thing. But I never used it, so I used the back handbrake. But when I lived in Germany, I biked all the way to the top of our hill at the end of our apartment complex area was the elementary school, and it was like a really steep hill.
Okay.
So I would get on top of that, and one day I was biking down the hill, and a car was coming, so I got out of the way, and I was going too fast. So, keeping in mind that I was used to the previous bike where you had to pedal backwards to brake, I started pedaling backwards, but the bike, since it was chain driven, did the thing where your feet just go round and round,
and like the chain wraps up on itself
and
like pops out.
It didn't do that.
Oh,
it just let me keep going. And it was awful, and my speed didn't decrease at all. Everything that I had learned about biking, I immediately forgot. So I froze up, and in less than 5 seconds from that moment, I was 10 feet deep in thorn bushes.
Bet you wish you'd had that little cushion.
Yeah, I do wish I had that little cushion. I had a stupid little reflector and a bike horn.
You had a bike horn?
Yeah.
I never had one of those.
I remember squeezing it and going... And there was a lot of pain. There was a lot of pain being that small, being into... Those thorn bushes were up to my neck, and I was literally neck deep in thorn bushes. The worst feeling. I had to pull the bike out by myself. I walked the bike back to my... Thankfully, I was in front of my apartment complex, and I walked the bike downstairs to the bike storage area, walked upstairs, got in my living room, wrapped myself in a wool blanket, and sat there until my parents asked me what was wrong, and I said, I have lots of cuts and bruises. I was too ashamed to tell them that I fucked up.
Oh, man.
I fucked up, Mom and Dad.
It's hard to tell your parents you fucked up when you're a kid. I had a lot of things where I fucked up. I had a lot of bad luck on bikes, too. Or anything with two wheels, pretty much. Someone, at some point, loosened the screws on the front tire of my bike. And I don't remember if it was somebody was fixing it or someone was just fucking with me. The way my brain works, I assume someone was just fucking with me. Mm-hmm. And they loosened the screws on my front tire from the axle of the bike. And I was riding down a hill, towards my house, and I kind of popped the front wheel up a little bit, and then it came down, and the tire came clean off, and it drove the axle into the street and flipped me over onto my back into the road. And I think for that moment, when something bad happens or something really shocking, when you go into shock and I became a toddler again. I was probably 12, but I don't know, my hands were just big rocks on the end of my arms. I couldn't bend my fingers or anything, and I just kind of laid on the ground, and I was kind of rolling side to side, I couldn't figure out how to get my body to work again. And I just thought I died. I was laying there, I was like, oh no, I'm dead. Oh great, I died right here. And it took me about 2-3 minutes. I'm sure everybody was watching me as I just sort of flailed side to side on in the middle of the street, my bike in pieces beside me. That hill had a lot of bad things happen. That was the first time I experienced speed wobbling when you're on a skateboard.
Oh my god.
You go too fast. Oh boy. That is a bad thing to have happen.
That happened to me the first time I ever went skateboarding. Down the same hill too.
The same hill that you crashed into the bush on?
Yeah, I didn't learn my lesson.
Got a lot of bad luck with hills over here.
I didn't have a skateboard helmet. I had a bicycle helmet on, so...
I never once wore a helmet for either. Didn't wear a helmet when I rode my bike. I never even owned pads for my skateboard. I was a little fuckhead. I thought I was the coolest fucking guy because I stole a skateboard deck. I tweeted about this the other day, or yesterday. I stole a deck from a sports authority. First time I ever stole anything, I think. Mm-hmm. At the ripe age of 11, with my friends who were bad influences on me. And then they stole trucks and wheels, and we put together a skateboard, and I was the coolest fucking kid in that 4-person group. And, unluckily for me, I had been skateboarding for 3 years before I discovered the speed wobble. So I thought I had everything figured out, and then I went down this hill. I was like, it'll be fine. People go down stuff like this all the time. And then those damn speed wobbles hit, and I wiped out, luckily, into the grass. I would have probably had the 4th concussion of my adolescence. So I was very stupid on things with wheels that weren't cars. Actually, I was stupid on cars, too, because that time I hung onto the hood of my sister's boyfriend's car. Oh. I was walking home from the bus stop, and he pulled up into the neighborhood, and he was driving behind me, and I kind of walked out into the road, and so he couldn't pass. Just being an asshole. And then he came really close, and then when he got close, I just jumped onto the hood of the car. And so he started driving, And we took one turn, I was fine. And then we took another turn, and it whipped me off the side of the car into the road.
Ooh.
And then I wrapped my head in gauze and went to a school dance. Went to a middle school dance that night. Didn't kiss a girl, but who would have expected me to? I looked like I died. Again, I looked like I was dead. And someone said, "What happened to your head?" And I said, "I fell." She said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I don't know. They think I have a concussion, so they wanted me to stay up. So I decided to come to a school dance." And I can't tell you how many times I decided to ride a Razor scooter barefooted and then tried to hit the brakes and burn the shit out of my feet.
Oh.
God, I was an idiot as a kid.
I did that before.
What the fuck is wrong? I did. See, if you do it once, you should learn. But I did it like 6 times. Because I just want to ride my scooter, and I was a kid. Shoes were the least of my worries. Like, I would have gladly just walked around with no shoes on for the rest of my life. I didn't care. I could not care. And then I hopped on that scooter, thought I was king of the world until I had to slow down a little bit. And that metal heated up so quickly. First of all, why was it made of metal? But it heated up so quickly, like you could tap your foot on it and it would just become like, it would start to melt. And that's how it slowed the thing down. It just melt all over the wheel and then you'd slow down. Long story short, I was really dumb.
That embarrassing series of stories reminds me of one of the biggest major embarrassments of when I lived in Germany.
Okay. See, I want to hear this because I gave a really embarrassing story last week.
Okay. First, there's this kid named Trevor. He and his brother Ricky taught me how to skateboard when I lived in Germany.
Okay. Did you push Mongo?
No.
Good. Continue.
Okay. I never understood people that push Mongo. Anyways.
That's a whole episode right there. We could just go on and on about these fucking idiots that push Mongo.
That's wrong. You don't walk like that. You don't skateboard like that.
No. How do you hold your balance when you push Mongo? I don't understand. You're putting all your weight on your back foot. You're gonna fall. Or I guess not because you're skating Mongo. Okay, anyways, keep going. I'm sorry. I'm going to record a solo podcast after you go home.
Okay.
About the problems I have with pushing Mongo.
I will look forward to that. One day I went to his house and we were 10 to 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I think Trevor was gay. And I never put much thought into it until I learned what gay was when I was a teenager, and people were calling me that, and then I had.
What a time to learn what that means.
Yep. But went to his house once, and he took one of his brother's anatomy textbooks. And he apparently had ripped out 2 of the pages from it of just naked ladies. But it wasn't like anything
like
sexy
a diagram.
Or racy. Yeah, it was a diagram. It was like just a picture of this basic human female figure.
Dude, sometimes you just gotta jack off. I mean, kids get desperate. You gotta jack off.
It gets weird. So, I don't know how this transitioned into that, but that very same hangout session where I was over at his house, he asked me if I knew what mooning people were, and I was like, yeah, that's when you show your butt to people. And he was like, yeah. He was like, do you know what sunning people is? And I was like, what? He was like, that's when you show your wiener to people. And he's like, we should sun each other. I was like, I don't want to do that. I remember telling him I didn't want to do that, and he was like, it's fine, I'll just sun you, and you can just you can keep your underwear on and just unzip. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. He's like, so that's weird. I
don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call him gay for that. He's just a weird kid. I knew kids like that though. But continue. I'll go next.
But yeah, I guess he just really wanted to see my wiener. Or wanted to show me his wiener. I
feel like at a certain age, like when you're that young, you kind of think that no one else has one but you. And then like, I think this is a unique thing well, not completely unique, but I think that a lot of the experience with it is very unique to younger boys, and that is like when you first start to like jack off, you think you're the only one, and so you think you discovered this awesome fucking thing to do with your dick that no one's ever thought about before, and the first time another person tells you they do it, you're like, holy shit, and like, I have a notebook of things I need to tell you about, and they're like, yeah, I do all that stuff too, and it's an epiphany, it's a revelation when you find out that you're not the only person that jacks off. I think that's just a very, those kinds of things are very unique to being a younger kid, discovering your body. It's a beautiful time when apparently some kids just want to see everyone's dick. They think it's a fun joke. But anyways, go on.
There were a couple of highlights to hanging out with Trevor, though. Besides that weird moment that was like a weird mar on our relationship as friends. That was the first time I ever watched the movie Baby Geniuses, and only time.
Good.
After that, that was the very first time I ever saw anyone play Ocarina of Time, and I was like, this game is cool.
Good shit.
I like this game. And then he beat it in front of me, and that spoiled the whole game for me.
Yep.
Because he was halfway, he was already at the end of the game, and he just beat it, and I didn't know what to think of that, so I never played it until I moved back to America. One time I was at his house, and his parents wanted to give me a bunch of his old pants, and I thought that was weird.
That is weird.
So his mom asked me to try them on, so I tried them on in their bathroom, and then halfway through I was just, no, I'm not doing this. I put my pants back on, I walked out, and she asked, did they fit? And I said, no, they didn't. And then I went home, because that was like,
no, I didn't.
It was really weird.
I have to go. I got a phone call while I was in the bathroom.
So his stepfather was in the military, and his mom and his brothers weren't. So when they moved, and his dad was still finishing up with his stuff. So he was the only one in his apartment. Trevor wasn't there anymore.
Okay.
He told me I was there on his last day, and he told me he wasn't going to be there anymore. Totally slipped my mind when I walked up to his door, knocked on it a bunch of times, and then I remembered Trevor's not there anymore. So
Did you run away?
I ran down 3 flights of stairs because it was in the middle of our apartment lobby.
Right.
And I looked up, and I see this face looking down at me. It's Trevor's dad. And I say, what the hell are you looking at? Because I thought it might have been his brother. And then there was a thought in my head. Wait. Ricky moved too. So I ran outside the building.
And all the way came back.
All the way around to behind the building. Ran to the playground. Went into the kiddie part of the playground, and I hid in one of the tubes and just looked and sat there for 15 minutes until I was sure that...
So you wouldn't get in trouble for cussing?
Yeah. So I was sure... Until I was sure that either Trevor's dad had disappeared off the world entirely, or I was okay, and I could go home.
When was the first time that you seriously, like, swore? Like, you were swearing, like, real shit? When was the first time you did that?
The first time I ever did it was when I lived in Portugal, and my dad's friends were over, and they were all drunk, and they were swearing, and I copied them, and then my mom hit me really hard in the face.
Oh.
Then I didn't swear again until started going back to the American school system.
So let's say since you met me, and I swore a lot.
Yeah, since I met you, and you swore a lot, and since, some kids made fun of me and called me bad words that I'd rather not repeat.
It's okay. The first time I swore, for real, I was 5 years old. Like, that's how bad it was. It started when I was 5 years old. 18 years ago, probably around right now. It was about the first time that I ever said a swear, like, with intention for it to be a bad thing. Because, you say it because your parents say it when you're, like, little, and then they kind of teach you not to say that anymore. There was this kid.
What was the word?
There were a few of them.
Oh, boy. Just say the first letter.
Oh, no, I mean, I said fuck. I said
okay.
bitch. I said shit. I was
Oh,
5
damn.
years old. And I'm going to tell you the story of what happened because it was a good story. It was summer vacation. It was actually like 3 weeks before my family moved away from that place. But I had a friend and his older brother lived at the end of my street. And then on the other side of the street was this kid named Bubba. And so the kid that lived at the end of my street, his name was Matt. And his brother's name was CJ. I started hanging out with CJ, who was like 5 years older than us. And we were outside one day and like it just stopped raining. And this kid Bubba, who was an asshole. He was a real asshole for like a 5-year-old. He was standing in his yard. I don't even remember what he was doing. But he was saying stuff to us. We were playing in the street. He was saying stuff to us. And he was standing in his yard like there was a ditch between the street and his yard. And he's like, I bet you won't come into my yard because the ditch was flooded. Like it was full of water. And so he kept saying, like, I bet you're not going to come into the yard. And so, like, I kind of looked at CJ for a second. I was like, okay. And then I ran and I jumped over the ditch into his yard. And I grabbed him by the shirt and I threw him down into the ditch.
Oh, God.
Like, into the water. And then, like, okay, yeah, not only is it the first time I swore, it was the first time I fought somebody. Because he was, like, down in the water and I was, like, punching him in the chest. Not hard because I was a kid. But, like, I was, like, hitting him. And I was just going, like, you motherfucker, you son of a bitch, you piece of shit. Little did I know, my friend Matt and CJ, their mom was upstairs in their house across the street, had the window open, heard everything, saw everything. And so, like, I'm, like, mid-punch, my arms cocked back, and I hear someone from far away just go, Nathan! And I stopped. I, like, froze, and, like, she was hanging all the way out the window. She was like, get in this house right now. And I was like, oh no, I said all the worst things possible. And I got in trouble for a very long time. I remember that. And I never saw that Bubba kid again. I don't know if he ever went outside. He's probably dead. I don't know if he ever went outside much after that. And then my family moved away. Don't know if that was related to it or not. It might have been. But, yeah, so that was the first time I swore and got in a fight. I forgot all about the fighting part. Some bad times as a kid. And I never really swore again until the 3rd grade when I met the person who would be a really bad influence on me and eventually I stole things with. He literally was just like, hey, do you know any swear words? I was like, I know fuck. I know shit. He was like, cool. I literally made a friend, one of my longest friends when I was in elementary school, just by knowing the words fucking shit. I knew those words and I was in. I gained a whole new group of people to talk to in elementary school. It was awesome. Swearing isn't bad. It's good. It made me a lot of friends. And it got me a skateboard, if you think about it. Because those are the people that I stole the skateboard with.
Yeah. Swearing will only get you good things.
I'm admitting to a lot of stuff on here. They can't prove it.
So, from the last episode, when we talked about the embarrassing pool story,
oh, yeah.
it made me remember when I got home that night about when I was in elementary school, I went to like a communal pool thing.
Yeah.
It may have been the same one. I don't know. But I went with all of my classmates. It was just it was one night. And that was the first time it wasn't the first time I was in a pool, but it was the first time I was in a pool and I went underwater and opened my eyes underwater. And I saw everything. Like I assumed that I needed to have goggles and I just did it. And it was the coolest thing ever. It was so cool, in fact, that when I got home from the trip, I walked up to my parents and I said, I drowned today because I assumed that's what it was called. And my parents freaked out. They were really worried. You did what? You did what? I drowned today. I went under the water and I opened my eyes and there was water everywhere. And she was like, are you okay? And I said, yeah, it was cool. And my mom was just totally aghast. She wondered if I really was okay. And I said, drowning is when you can open your eyes underwater, right? And she said, no, that's just called opening your eyes underwater.
Did she hit you really hard in the face?
No, she didn't.
Okay, just wondering, just curious. I worry about child Jeff and his tiger mom.
Oh man, yeah. I had a tiger mom as a child. She grew out of it eventually.
Now she's just mean.
She is mean.
I think she likes me well enough. She's never been mean to me.
Yeah, she likes Nathan a lot.
Parents love me. Introduce me to your parents, and we'll be great friends. Jeff's dad, I think, likes me better than Jeff, which kind of makes me upset.
No, my dad likes me a lot lately.
Oh, good. He hasn't. How long has it been since he made fun of you? Does he make fun of you regularly?
No.
Okay.
Not anymore.
What was it?
Oh, man.
What did he say to you? No, about when you talked about you were playing football. What did he say? Was he like, did you suck at it? Isn't that what he said?
I think so. I think that might have been it.
Like, what a weird assumption for someone's dad to make. Like, oh, did you suck at that thing you tried today?
Yes, Dad, I did. Because we didn't play it as a...
Yeah, because
we didn't play it during my childhood. And he said, that's my fault.
Okay, at least he owned up to it.
He asked me if I sucked at it. I said, yeah, and then he said, that's my fault. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, joke's on you, Dad. You can't call me a pussy because that means you raised a pussy.
Oh, that reminds me. I changed my Google Plus profile.
Okay.
So under my skills, it has like my official stuff, and my last skill is I can throw a football 30 yards.
Nice.
I hope someone hires me.
Yeah, you should throw that on your resume.
Just ask me what my skills were.
I've been changing anything where I have to choose my display name lately. I've just been changing to Shitboy. I think I'm going to change my Google Plus profile to just be Shitboy. No one reads those. No one uses Google Plus. It's a good discussion on us being just asshole kids. Are there any more?
Yes.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah. You were talking about your first fight. I'm going to talk about the first time I almost got in a fight, and then the first time I got in a fight.
Okay, I was going to say, have you ever fought? Have you ever gotten in a real fight? Okay.
The first time I almost got in a fight, this actually wasn't a fight. My friend Jason, it was his kindergarten. He was having a really bad day. I guess there was trouble at home or something. I don't remember. But he was my best friend. And one day he was just so mad, and I wanted to know like what was wrong. So I asked him, and then he said the words, "I'm going to give you a bloody nose." And that was the equivalent of saying, "I'm going to stab you really hard in the chest."
Big assumption to make.
Yeah.
But bloody nose. Why does it matter if you get stabbed in the chest?
No, that's the equivalent. Like if someone's saying, "I'm going to kill you."
Oh.
As a kid, someone's saying, "I'm going to kill you." That's scary. But if someone's like graphic, they say, "I'm going to give you a bloody nose." I didn't know how he was going to give me a bloody nose, but I remember he ran up to me. Also, he was bigger than me.
Okay.
He was 6 inches taller than me, and he was just buffer than me. And this was first grade, actually, not kindergarten.
Okay.
So, I remember in the playground running away from him and he did the Terminator walk, as in I ran away from him, and he was just walking at a slightly quicker pace.
Like
directly at me.
He was Jason from Friday the 13th. Like no matter how much you ran, he's always right there.
That was
terrifying.
Awful. That was the first time I ever pussed out from a fight. And I think that might have been the only time I really pussed out from a fight. I didn't get hurt. Didn't get my nose bloodied.
That's good.
That was good. First time I ever got in a fight, we moved on to the air base, and this kid, Jason, had given me like a bunch of toys. Because he knew I was moving, so he wanted to give me stuff to remember him by. So I would play with these toys and outside, because I didn't really have any new friends. And my parents always told me to go outside, but they told me that I could bring my toys out there. So this one kid, his name was Michael. He was like this albino kid. He was mean. He saw that I was playing with my toys, and I had this really cool glow-in-the-dark Predator figure.
Okay.
I was really proud of it. And what he did was he asked if he could play with it, and me, being the trusting, naive young child that I was, said, "Yeah, sure." So he picked it up. We were at the playground. He picked it up, and he just flung it in the air, like straight up 90 degrees. I watched in horror as it hit the top of the playground. His arm broke off, and then I punched him really hard in the face. I punched him so hard in the face that he was standing up, arms straight in the air, watching his work unfold, and then my fist entered his face, and he lost his footing, fell on the floor, and I punched him again, and I punched him one more time, and then I said, don't ever touch my toys again. And then I kicked him, and then I went home.
Okay. Had to make sure to give him that message.
And the next time I saw him, he invited me over to his house and we played Street Fighter.
Well, it's good. It sounds like you guys made up.
I still hate him.
Well, was Street Fighter fun?
No, it was Street Fighter 2.
I hate Street Fighter. You're right, that's not a good way to try to mend a friendship. Do you ever worry that your balls don't work right?
No.
Do you never worry of that? How many?
Sometimes I worry if I might have damaged them permanently when I sit on them sometimes.
How many times?
Because I've got huge balls.
Oh, yeah, me too. But how many times have your balls been injured?
Growing up a lot.
Do you think that you could count how many times you got hit in the balls by something or sat on them?
I don't think I could count because it was that many.
Yeah. Well, I don't think my balls work. I mean, they work. I don't know if I will ever be able to have children. I sometimes worry about it, and I should probably get it checked out.
You should.
But the only reason that I worry about this, it's not because of the events over my entire life, because I've been hitting the balls a lot. It's just something that happens when you're a boy. Like, when you're a young boy, you get hit in the balls quite a bit. And then I also played nutball for like 3 weeks.
What the hell is that?
Nothing. You've never played nutball?
No.
All right, I'm about to drop a little education on anyone who doesn't know what that is. Nutball is a game that you play where see, some people make it weird. You don't have to do this, but like I think it got popular because of Jackass. Mm-hmm. And when they did it, they literally went down to their underwear. But we didn't do that because it hurts no matter what. It doesn't matter how much padding you're wearing, it still hurts. What you do is you sit across a room from somebody, or like you sit like 5-6 feet away. You sit on the ground with your legs out spread in front of you. Mm-hmm. You have a ball or some sort of round object or just any throwable object, and you just take turns throwing it in an arc, trying to make it hit the other person in the balls. That's the whole game. And really, there's no ending. No one wins or loses. It's just you play that, you do that until you physically can't take it anymore, then you stop. But that's not even the thing that worries me. The thing that worries me is for half a year, when I moved away from the place where I got into my first fight in Virginia, we moved to a different place in Virginia for about 6 months. That was where I started first grade at, and there was this kid who lived in my neighborhood, and his name was Brandon. And I don't remember exactly what started, but he was over at my house one day. We got into an argument. Somewhere along the lines, I put my hands on his shoulders, and I kneed him in the balls. And this was in our front yard, and then I pushed him to the ground, and I went inside, and then he eventually went home. And we were the same age, and so we were at recess one day, and he comes up to me, not looking like he was going to do anything, puts his hands on my shoulders and kneed me in the balls. And so I fell down. I had to go to the nurse's office, like, because everyone saw me, so they were like, oh my god. And so this started a 6-month thing where that's what me and this kid did to each other. If we got a chance, we would grab the other person by the shoulders, but we wouldn't, for some reason it was very polite, because we wouldn't do it twice in a row. You had to wait for the other person to do it back. We would just come up, grab the other person in the shoulders, and knee them in the balls. That probably happened a good 20-25 times before we moved away. And I'm afraid that 5-6 month period of time is going to be the reason that I can't have children. And I've been hitting the balls a lot. And now I have this new problem where I sit on my balls sometimes. It's not new. It's like a year old. That did not used to happen. And now it just does. And I'm very self-conscious about my balls. I don't want my balls to be permanently injured. I kind of want to have kids at some point. I don't know. Too. I want to name my kid Xbox.
That's a really good name. I agree with that.
Me too.
I like it.
My first son's going to be named Xbox, and my first daughter is going to be named Anime. But not the way that person we know named Anime. Not like her name is spelled. Literally, it's going to be spelled Anime. A-N-I-M-E. That's how her name is going to be spelled. Good luck, is what I'm going to say to her the first time she can remember anything. I'm just going to say, good luck. Good luck, Xbox. Good luck, little Anime.
One day, there will be a child that will tell his parents, Mom, I have a crush on this girl. What's her name? Her name is Anime.
Son, I'm in love with Anime.
I love anime.
Oh God, I love anime so much. I just want to spend my whole life with anime, and I don't need anything else. Anime makes me so happy.
I just want anime. That's all I want.
When I see anime, I feel like nothing in the world matters. Nothing but anime. My whole life revolves around anime. See, it's so perfect.
It's like
it's a great name.
I like anime. I just want to touch anime.
I think about anime all day. I just really want to kiss anime.
Anime makes my pee-pee hard.
Damn, it's so true.
Hashtag damn, it's true.
And then imagine being a young girl, like a teenage girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Finally getting to the age where you're starting to date. You start to tell your parents that you're dating boys and stuff like that. So you tell your parents that there's a boy coming over to pick you up and take you out, and they say, "Well, what's this boy's name?" And you say, "His name is Xbox." Her parents will not take her seriously. They'll say, "Okay, what's his real name?" And she'll say, "No, his name's Xbox. He's really sweet. I really like Xbox. I think you guys are gonna like him." And they don't believe you until the minute he shows up at the door, and he says, "Hi, my name is Xbox. I'm here to pick up your daughter." And they probably won't even believe him then. They'll think he's being a dickhead. What if she doesn't even say it? What if she just says, "I have a boy coming to pick me up for a date." And they're like, "Okay, can't wait to meet this boy." And he shows up and he's like, "Hi, my name's Xbox." And I'm like, "Fuck you, kid. Fuck you. Get off my front porch. Get out of here." See, that's the kind of struggles I want my kids to have.
The inevitable father-son moment. Dad, why did you name me Xbox?
I'll say, "Son, I finally got 3,000 followers on Twitter, and I had to keep my promise."
Oh boy.
I think that's what my tweet was. If I get to 3,000, I'll name my firstborn son Xbox. And then I've always wanted to name a kid anime, to be perfectly honest. Like, for a really long time. I'm never going to do that, obviously. I'm going to be a great dad. My daughter's going to play football.
Dad, I'm really upset that you named me Xbox. Uncle Jeff didn't name his son Fight Brother that.
Fight Brother.
Fight Brother.
Yeah, well, Fight Brother lives in a different house. If you love Uncle Jeff and his family so much, why don't you go live with him?
No, because Fight Brother is mean.
He was raised that way, son. Luckily, I didn't raise you to be a jerk. If you're being one right now, you've been spending too much time around Fight Brother. Around your cousin Fight Brother.
Because it's like, don't talk to me about jerk. I hate her, too. Son named Fight Brother and a daughter named Jerk.
See, we're gonna be raising kids one day, you guys. Anyone who's listening, think about that.
Her name's gonna be Jerklin.
Think about that. Let that settle in. And you know what? I think we're gonna end it right there.
That's good.
I think
we didn't even talk about the original thing.
No, see, that's the great part, is that we come up with subjects as it goes, and we have some beautiful discussions. And so, yes, on that, we are going to end episode 4. Once again, I am Nathan. I am Fright Shark on Twitter. That's at Fright Shark.
And I'm Jeff.
I am Jeff, yes.
I'm Jeff. Jeffman. It is Jaefman.
That's
not Jafe Boy.
That's on Twitter. No, don't follow Jafe Boy. Totally different account.
Totally different.
Do it. It's like the Kmart version of Jeff.
Should we do a shout out to someone?
Who are we gonna shout out? This week we're gonna shout out our good friend Piss Andry.
Oh yeah.
On Twitter. She's great. She enjoys us. I think
I drew a witch picture for
her.
her.
Jeff drew a picture for her. Follow her. That's at Piss Andry. Yep. Very hard to misspell. Just think about it.
Yep.
It's a joke. It's like Miss Andry, but with piss. Oh, I hit my microphone. I'm sorry. See how that works? Fuck, I'm so unprofessional. Anyways, so yeah.
You're tearing this household apart.
We're never going to make it big. Shout outs to Piss Andry. Shouts out to us, more importantly.
Yeah.
Shouts out to us. Follow us on Twitter. And another thing that I encourage you to do is tweet at us. I'm not going to do a joke thing this week. Tweet at us dog pictures all the time.
Yes, please.
We both really love dogs, and we love seeing pictures of them. But another thing you should tweet at us is come up with some fun things for us to talk about and hypothetical questions for us to answer. And eventually we will be asking for people to come on the show and chat with us about things. So
when we get a,
when I upgrade my
schedule.
when I upgrade my system here, and also we're not shit boys about recording because we recorded 2 episodes in a day last week. So, anyways, keep a lookout for that. I'm sure I'll tweet about it when the time comes. But anyways, thanks for listening, and see you later.
Bye. Have a good night.